Hello everybody, I am Hoarder Gamer, and here we are to talk about Twin Peaks episodes 3 and 4. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to be starting in just a couple minutes, so yeah, let's rock, everybody. Yeah, one second here. As you see, I have some damn fine coffee, and we also have some delicious cherry pie today. So we'll be enjoying that. And well, we'll be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Twin Peaks: The Return. But basically, that's the name for the new episodes of Twin Peaks: The Return. I guess it's probably to differentiate, like, people trying to, you know, watch it or purchase it or anything like that. Because if it were just called Twin Peaks, it would be a little bit confusing. And people would, you know, basically look at the original show or pick up the original show. So I guess it does make sense that they changed the name. It was either probably going to be that or Twin Peaks Season 3, but after 25 years it would have been odd to just call it Season 3. Calling it The Return I think makes sense, and it could be numerous meanings for the words The Return. You know, it could be about the return of Bob to the Black Lodge, the return of Cooper to Twin Peaks itself, or to reality outside of the lodge. It can mean a number of different things. So it could have a double meaning. I think that's definitely possible. And yeah, episodes 3 and 4. If you thought episodes 1 and 2 were pretty crazy and out there, episodes 3 and 4 were damn near insane. Well, 3 specifically. 4 is actually, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. 3 begins with Cooper, and he's falling faster and faster. And this brought to mind a conversation between Laura and her friend Donna in the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, about if Donna thought that you'd fall faster, or if what would happen, and Laura's response is that you'd eventually burst into fire, which was pretty dark and frightening, and Donna reacts to that in the way you'd expect her to. So yeah, it's interesting that that's what happens at the beginning of episode 3, and we end up in a new place, which I like to now call the Purple Room. We've seen the Red Room, or Waiting Room, which is of the Black Lodge, and now we've seen the Purple Room. But before we get to the Purple Room, Cooper lands on a terrace outside of it, just outside of it, and there's a beach and water, like a big ocean basically, but everything's purple, and the sand is like pure white. It looks really bizarre, as you might think, because what happened was Cooper was made non-existent. So this is basically the extent of what happened when that happened. No, I did not watch any Facts of Life. Facts of Life has not been on for many years, but it's good to see you, DeafAdder83. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So then he notices what looks like a window. It's a door window. It's really large. And he opens it and walks into this purple room. And this is an amazing scene, because the film is moving in fits and starts. It's really insane. It's like forward, backward, and it reminded me of something like from the old George Méliès films of like the late 1880s, early 1900s. Pretty awesome. And in this place, he meets a young woman who has no eyes. She has, well, it's like they're plastered over with skin. It's really pretty bizarre. And she can't seem to actually speak. She makes noises, which don't seem human at all. Let's see. Uncle Phil wants to go to the beach with Zach Morris. Well, that's nothing to do with Twin Peaks, DeafAdder. those things, and you're also combining numerous shows there. Let's see here. So yeah, there's amazing film and film work done here. Actually, I believe it's everything here is digital video. I believe. I don't believe this is on film. And basically, Cooper ends up following this woman up a ladder But this is, first off, we hear this really frightening sound. And this frightening sound is someone banging on the door. And it's like they're trying to get in. And this is going to be really bad, according to the way this young woman is acting. And she's telling Cooper to be quiet. She's like, shh. Well, anyway, they make their way up to this ladder. They go upstairs. And when they reach the top of the ladder, we are on what can only be described as either the top of a spaceship, which is like a square with this weird metal stack on top, or a satellite. I think of it more like a satellite. And it looks like they're in outer space, but I prefer, because this is supposedly non-existent, a non-existent world, I prefer to call this an inner space. I think they are in inner space, between things. I don't feel they're actually in outer space. And the woman goes and turns grabs a handle and throws it down. She gets electrocuted and jettisoned into inner space. And then the apparition head of Major Briggs from the original Twin Peaks floats by and says the word Blue Rose. So, yeah. It was pretty damn insane. And it's like, it gets crazier. So, Cooper goes down the ladder now that the girl's gone. And he goes back into the purple room. But now things have shifted around. Now we're going to focus on a light socket, or an electric outlet, actually, sorry. When he first entered the purple room, it's at a 3 on it. Or 15, actually, it had a 15. Now, since the lever was pulled down, it has a 3 there. And now, Ronette Pulaski from the original Twin Peaks is in the purple room. And she's able to talk in that reversed backward speech that we're used to from the Black Lodge. And she warns Cooper that he has to hurry because of her mother, is what she said. That's the term, her mother. And again, that banging happens on the door, someone trying to get in the room. But the room's different. Now you can actually see there's a blue rose on a table, quite literally a blue rose, and there's a fireplace that this Ronette Pulaski is by. So Cooper walks over to the electric outlet, and he basically forces himself in as it sucks him into the electric outlet, and he is pulled inside except for his shoes. His shoes fall to the ground in this purple room, and that is the end of that part. I mean, there's a lot to take apart there. I mean, that's pretty crazy stuff. And if people thought episodes 1 and 2 were avant-garde and crazy, then this just destroys that. This 20 minutes is like, wow. Wow, Bob, wow, which I believe I said last week too, but there's not much else you could say. It was insane. I'll take a sip of coffee here. Damn fine coffee. So, that takes us to, one second here, I do apologize, I have a number of notes because there's a lot to cover here. Ronette does say something important. She does say, when you get there, you will already be there. So, obviously Cooper is not quite sure what that means, but he's used to getting, you know, these odd riddles and clues from the Black Lodge, so I'm sure he realizes it means something, that she wouldn't have just said it. And right then, Doppelkoop driving down the highway in his car, and he has a car crash. He starts seeing red curtains in front of him as he's driving, and it's like basically his time now to go into the Black Lodge, for him to return. And he gets into a car crash, And then he vomits up Garmonbozia. You know, Garmonbozia is what resembles cream corn. It was in the original series. And Garmonbozia is translated in Fire Walk with Me as pain and sorrow. So he ends up vomiting that up, and then he's like in the car crash and basically knocked out and unconscious. Okay, so we cut to South Dakota again. And we were in South Dakota in the first episodes of Twin Peaks. That's where William Hastings is basically in prison for the murder of, I want to say, I know her last name is Davenport. I can't remember her first name. Anyway, now in South Dakota, we meet Dougie Jones, okay? And Dougie Jones is another doppelganger of Cooper. Looks exactly like Cooper, and he's with a prostitute in this, I guess a rental home, I guess you could say, or a probably like a demonstration home, because I believe he's a realtor. So he's just finished with her, and he gets sick. And he vomits, which could be Garmonbozia. It's hard to tell. It's dark, and it's a small amount. It's not a huge amount. And I didn't see what resembled cream corn at all. It looked more like bile or something terrible like that. But with that, we'll have a piece of pie here, a little taste of pie. Because who doesn't want to have some pie when they're talking about vomit and bile? This must be where pies go to heaven. So, Dougie is sick. He vomits. And this is where it gets complicated, so I had to make notes. So, Prince, good to see you. Good to see you, Prince of Motley. Well, that's weird, Prince. I don't know why I did that. Sorry about the technical issues anyone's having. So now, we notice that Dougie Jones has the Owl Cave ring. The Owl Cave ring is bad news. It was first in Fire Walk with Me. And fans are really happy to see that again, I think, because that connects it strongly with Fire Walk with Me. It was one of the coolest visuals, I think, the Owl Cave ring. And I wish it would have been in the series, but I think it's something that David just thought of after the series, so that's why it wasn't in there. So, he's got that Owl Cave ring, and that means that, yes, indeed, his arm is numb. Just about everyone who's had the ring, Teresa Banks and Laura, everyone has had, well, Laura didn't take the ring, actually, but we know Teresa Banks had a numb arm a few days right before she was killed. And, yeah, there's definitely a causality between the Owl Cave ring and the Black Lodge. So, all of a sudden, Dougie Jones disappears from the realtor house or wherever he is, and ends up in the Black Lodge. He is in the Black Lodge, and he meets the one-armed man who's there. The one-armed man is not happy to see him. He seems upset. And he says, "You were manufactured for a purpose. And now that purpose has become clear." Or something to that effect. I don't have the exact words. I apologize. I have some quotes here, but not all of them. Also, you know, enjoying the episodes too. We're trying to mix between analytical as well as fully enjoying the episode. And all of a sudden, Dougie in the Black Lodge starts shrinking. Okay, and he shrinks his arm. First way to show his arm starts shrinking, and the ring just falls right off his arm onto the floor. And then he's like, "That's weird." And then his head pops like a balloon. Like no guts or anything like that. It's just pop, gone, instantly gone. And what's there is like black smoke. And then his suit falls to the ground. We see what resembles the evolution of the arm's head. I can't be sure that's what it was. But then it mingles with the smoke and then turns into a golden ball bearing that falls onto the seat of the chair. So, whatever Dougie was manufactured for seems to now have happened. And it's a golden ball bearing. And, yeah, say goodbye to Dougie. Now, we have to ask, manufactured, was it Bob who manufactured him? Was this like years and years ago that Bob has been playing this long game and set up somebody and somehow created a doppelganger of Coop that was in the real world? And are there more of them? As these episodes go on, will we see Kyle MacLachlan in more insane wigs and costumes and things like that because there are other Doppel Coops that Bob created? Because something tells